I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12-round span. Like, you could tell every time he fight, it's always like a gas tank problem or...
Make it rough for anybody. But, Tank is a different animal, too. So, it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he going to win, or oh, he going to win. No.
People go in there and he's very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't that. And Lamont wasn't having it.
Shakur Stevenson warns Lamont Roach to stay away from a rematch with Gervonta Davis, calling Davis the greatest with unmatched power. He says Tank is cracking fighters and won't give Roach another lucky shot. With Davis looking more jacked than ever, Shakur tells Roach to be careful or suffer serious.
I think it'll be a chess match. I think it'll be a boxing match. People talk about his power. His power is great. You can clearly tell that he's cracking.
Shakur Stevenson admits that if he ever fought Gervonta Davis, it would be his toughest test. He acknowledges Davis's power, skill, and unpredictability, calling him a real threat. Shakur knows it wouldn't be easy and respects Davis as a dangerous opponent who could truly...
What would be your hardest matchup? Devin Haney, Tank, or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's going to be Tank. I ain't say it before, but I'm going to say it like me and him in the big fight.
Gervonta Davis looks stronger and more jacked than ever in new training footage, showing his intense focus and physical transformation. His tweet, "Somebody is in trouble," adds to the buzz, suggesting he's locked in and ready to dominate. Fans are excited for what's coming next in the ring. Roy Jones Jr. calls Gervonta Davis a different kind of beast in the ring. While he admits the upcoming fight is unpredictable, he still believes Tank's raw power and skill will come through. Jones expects Davis to dominate and prove why he's a force that shouldn't be underestimated.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach, but we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers and amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But then when the pro rounds take over, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet, or is Tank too superior as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in.
Roach is coming up on weight. That, a lot of people keep on saying that's a very big disadvantage for Roach. His power might not transfer to, to this weight class. What do you got to say about that to the critics?
Well, I ain't really got nothing to say to the critics, because most of the time they don't know the hell they're talking about no weight, but I was able to carry my weight from 154 to heavyweight. You know how to do it right, when your punch will come through. You don't know how to do it right, then yeah, you're going to lose your punch. So if he's a good, fundamentally sound fighter with a punch, you're going to have a punch at 130, then you're going to have a punch at 140. If he's not really fundamentally that sound, then he won't. That's why Tank was able to jump around. Tank fought between 130 and 140, whatever weight he wants to. Why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch going to be the same no matter what weight he got on. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, when you move up the weight, you're going to lose your punch.
That's exactly what what I thought you would say. Like, breaking that down and making understand that from 130, 135 to 140, I mean, you got to carry that power with you, and how are you going to punch?
If you got fundamentals, you're going to carry it automatically. I took it all with a heavyweight, from a junior middleweight.
Gervonta Davis has recently linked up with a new coach, signaling a fresh approach as he gets ready for the upcoming rematch. This change shows he's taking things seriously, moving away from his usual style to something more polished. The training seems more structured, focusing on tightening his fundamentals and boosting his stamina. Observers have noticed how committed Davis is in the gym, hinting that he knows what's at stake this time and is making the necessary changes to secure victory.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Tevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
There's growing agreement that Davis wasn't at his best in the first fight. Whether from distractions or bad strategy, fans and critics believe he underperformed. Now, with his name on the line, Davis seems ready to set things right. His latest actions suggest he wants to leave no doubts about his abilities. This time, there will be no excuses. He wants the rematch to be a statement, not just a win.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means, and that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Experts and boxing fans have noticed how quiet Davis has been recently. While Lamont Roach has spoken out in interviews and online, Davis has stayed mostly under the radar. According to many analysts, that silence is intentional. They believe Davis is quietly putting in the work. Roach speaking out while Davis stays quiet has sparked talk that Tank is planning something major for the rematch.
Oh yeah, so we hearing that they got the fight set and scheduled, and it's going to be in Vegas, and it's going to be this August. So yeah, it's basically just been reported. And I'm not going to lie, we knew it was going to happen because they both said they down to do it. They both said they got to do the rematch because it was too close. All I'm going to say is I'm hoping that boy Tank, because he been quiet lately. Lamont, you been yapping. Talking about you should have won. You keep dwelling on that little almost close win. That boy Gervonta, that Tank, he been... We ain't never seen Tank in this mode. I will say that Lamont, you're a very skilled fighter. But you should be nervous because we ain't never seen Tank like this. He's quiet. Like, he's literally hushed, bro. You just see him training. And now out of nowhere, he's like, hey, bro, we can set the fight up. That's actually dangerous. That's actually dangerous when you think about it. Like, dude ain't said a word. Even once the fight was over and pressed, he got the little hat on. He like, yeah, I mean, we could do the rematch. And he said it. I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to train. I'm going to just be quiet and work. Good match to Lamont. I ain't going to lie. If I was Lamont, I'll be a little nervous. You ain't got to be scared, but I will be a little nervous because usually Tank, he the one that's like, yeah, don't bring your moms to the fight. Don't bring your peoples to the fight. Dude been real hush-hush lately. I'm not going to lie, y'all. They said the fight set up for August. I might have to go to this one in person. And August is my birthday month. I might have to go to this one in person, bruh. Because this right here, at this point, they're rivals now. This is like the perfect boxing story. They come from the same side of the the mat. Come from the same gym and camp. I'm not gonna lie, they've been at it since they was kids. This like the perfect boxing story, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. We might have to be in there in person. But like I said, y'all already know how I go. When it come down to it, I'm putting my money on my boy Tank. Lamont, you definitely are skilled. And I'm going into this fight knowing that basically I know you're going to put up a good one. But I got my money on Tank. We ain't never seen Tank like this, bro. Dude quiet, and he ain't saying nothing. The fight just got booked. Oh, yeah.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back in his recent remarks, calling this rematch absolutely critical for both men. He says neither fighter has the edge, and both must bring their very best. He warned that even one mistake could cost the whole fight. For Davis, Hackett stressed staying fully focused and showing full intensity. There's no room for overconfidence or complacency this time.
It's rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, trading with this person, trading with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45 Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge, just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they're very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that, and Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking a knee, etc.
This would be the night we have to see the most focused Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night, and you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for, and he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Former champ Mikey Garcia offered a more cautious take on the rematch. He pointed out how Davis usually learns from mistakes and expects him to come in more prepared. Garcia praised Davis's ring IQ, but warned that none of it matters if his mind isn't sharp. Mental errors could undo all the training. Garcia even said that if Davis isn't fully locked in, he shouldn't enter the ring at all.
Hopefully,
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows?
Maybe it turns the Marquez back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight. Shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that edge?
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. I mean, if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him do it, let him do it. I don't know.
Kenny Ellis, a longtime member of Davis's coaching crew, responded to Roach's intense training clips. While he admitted Roach is working hard, Ellis reminded everyone that gym work and real fight toughness aren't the same. He said Davis's fights are about more than fitness. It's about taking hits, staying composed, and having that will to win. For him, heart beats practice every time.